Hello and welcome to Practices That Will Strengthen Your Faith. And this is a really exciting week, and I'm excited to be here and helping you to look at what practices you need to cultivate in your own life and business that are going to strengthen your faith on a regular daily basis. What I want to point out here and bring some consciousness to is that it's practices, just like a yoga practice. Just like practicing tennis or practicing golf or practicing any sport like that. In order to become really excellent at something, you want to practice it on a regular basis. It might not have to be each and every day, but on a consistent basis. So what you do most of the time is what makes the biggest difference in your life. I'm going to share with you some of the practices that I have used and continue to use, and you can write down which ones resonate with you. The tool is that you use the practices that are relevant for you for wherever you are on the journey. You might be practicing meditation on a regular basis and then fall off from doing that and find that journaling is something that's really helping you to practice your faith. So one of the things that I do is I do journal. And I don't journal all of the time, but there are certain times in my life where I've journaled very regularly. And then sometimes when it's not a tool, I will choose another practice to strengthen my faith. But basically, if you go through your life and every action that you take, every word that you speak, every thought that you think, it can be a practice for strengthening your faith, right? Like if you're paying attention to the conscious language that you're using and you're course correcting, even when something comes out of your mouth like a should and you change it into a could, it's an empowering action step. When I journal, I do 3 pages. And on the first page, I write a whole page of Dear God, I release and let go of. On the second page, I write Dear God, I am filled with gratitude for. And on the third page, I write Dear God, I command forth or I call forth and receive fully. And then I fill those pages. Or the third page sometimes will be like, I desire, call forth, and receive fully. So you can write it however it resonates for you, but it's a beautiful practice and it really doesn't have to take that long. That's the other part of this, is that these practices for strengthening your faith, they can be quick, they can be easy, and they can be nourishing to you. Another thing that I've done over the years is I'll go on a walk or I'll go out in nature and I'll do what are called incantations, where you're breathing and speaking at the same time, like every day in every way I'm getting stronger and stronger, or every day in every way I'm getting healthier and healthier, or every day in every way I'm getting richer and richer. Remember, there is tremendous power in the words that you speak. So creating affirmations and listening to them. You can even create affirmations that you record with background music with all the technologies that we have today. That's something that's very easy to do. You can also record a mantra if you have a monthly mantra or a monthly goal that you're wanting to meet, and you can call that out and add background music to that. But all of these different things will strengthen your faith, and you could do everyday angel card readings or everyday tarot card readings. And one of the things that I also do is I get astrology readings every couple of months, and it's not necessarily telling me anything new, but it is affirming and validating what's going on. Sometimes when we go through these different phases and these different experiences in life, we can feel like, what's going on? And why is it so hard? And this and this and this. And I remember one time having an astrology reading, and she said to me, you feel like you are stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I'm like, oh my God, like it was so validating. But at the same time, it wasn't really making me feel much better, because I'm thinking, how long is this going to go? Because she told me that this planet was here and this planet was here. And it really just was not exactly the thing that I was wanting to hear, but also knowing intuitively and knowing deeply that God always has me exactly where I'm supposed to be for the exact right reason, for learning exactly what I need to learn. And sometimes learning those lessons aren't very easy, right? They challenge you and they stretch you, but they're molding and sculpting your character so that you can be more than you've ever been before. And the thing that I find comfort in when those times are happening for me is that I am going through this to make it easier for someone else. And so sometimes knowing that my clients are going to have an easier time in dealing with their own things because I can mentor them from a place of a higher level of mastery because I'm allowing my character to be sculpted by the divine. That is what the momentum that pulls me forward is sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, what is going on? What am I having to learn here? And my faith is being tested and strengthened so deeply right now. And so I'm going to encourage you to make a list, or to make a menu, in fact, of what are these different practices that really resonate with you. Do you have a practice of going to a religious service? Do you have a practice of getting out in nature daily? Do you have a practice of praying before bedtime or praying over every meal, regardless of whether you're eating out or not? All of these practices are for you to claim and to honor and not be embarrassed about them, to be proud of them, because these are the exact practices that will continue to lend yourself to having tremendous faith during the most challenging times. And in those times is when you have an opportunity to exercise those practices so that they're there to support you and you're not feeling like, how can I do this? Or I'm so alone. And even a practice for strengthening faith can be reaching out to a friend or a loved one, or to a coach or to a mentor that is someone who can remind you to the path that you already really do know. And sometimes you just forget because we do get triggered and we get, off track. And the practice is using those tools that are strengthening your faith to bring you back to the path that you are meant to be on. And that could be music, it could be dancing, it could be, what are the things that really fill you up, that have you feeling so super connected to God? One of the ways that I feel so super connected to God is when I go to the ocean and I walk on the sand and I look out upon the vast landscape and the vast horizon, or being out in majestic nature, being on top of a mountain and hiking up there and looking down at God's beauty and God's creation is something that can really put you into a state of awe. And the point is for you to get into being in an awestruck state all of the time, as if it's a first experience. Because what happens is when we aren't continuing to see the grace and see the beauty and have appreciation and gratitude in every situation, we take it for granted. And when we take something for granted, it can sometimes be taken away. And when we use these practices to strengthen our faith, and we come at each situation and each person and circumstance in our life from a place of awe and being amazed, and kissing someone as though you've never kissed them, and tucking your children in bed as though you have never done it before, and doing it for the first time, you'll begin to build this all back into your life, and you'll operate from a deeper level of love and grace and appreciation, and that alone will shift your strength in your faith.